Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you know that another day is another opportunity for you to level up. And welcome to the Level Up Daily Podcast, where we help you grow into the best version of yourself, where we speak to the inner child in you, and we talk about things that are life related, growth related, spiritual growth, mental growth, physical growth, because we're all here to grow. Today, I'm going to talk about how delay is not denial. How delay is not denial. A lot of things are taken away from us. A lot of things are delayed in our lives. Why? Because we do not have the capacity to handle whatever it is. Sometimes you are not given something because you're not yet ready for it. It's like going into the mall, shopping mall, with a 9-year old versus going in with an 18-year old. A 9-year old or a 7-year old wants everything, everything that they see. They just want, they just want, they just want. And the moment you say no, they cry and throw a tantrum. What is the reason? Like, as compared to going with an 18-year-old, and they probably just want one thing, and even when you say no, they may question why you're saying no, but they will not necessarily throw a tantrum. What am I trying to say here is that the difference between the 9-year-old and the 18-year-old is maturity. Some of the things that you're requesting and the reason why you're throwing tantrums to God is because of your level of maturity. Some of the things that you're not receiving is because you're not yet mature enough. You want everything. You're asking for everything in the world. You're asking for every materialistic thing. You're asking for a relationship. You're asking for this. You're asking for that. But sometimes it only takes you to grow to see what you really need for your life. We've got a lot of wants. We've got a lot of wants in our lives, but we also have things that we need. Because God will not give you exactly what you want, but sometimes will direct you to what it is that you need. God's will is going to prevail in your life. And sometimes when He delays, it does not necessarily mean that He's saying no, but sometimes He's saying wait. There's some things that in your life He will say no, but there's some things that He'll just say wait. It won't come at the time that you expected. When Abraham prayed for Isaac, he did not come in the time that he expected. He came at the right time when God needed him to come. So sometimes there are certain things that are being delayed in your life now. There are certain things that are being delayed and that they're frustrating you, these things. Why? Because you've been asking for them for years. And you've been questioning, but why, God, am I not getting this thing? But maybe you're not yet mature enough. Maybe you're still throwing tantrums like the 9-year-old child. Whenever he says no, whenever you're by the counter and he says, I'm not giving you this sweet, you throw a tantrum. You want everyone to see. You're now complaining. You're complaining on your WhatsApp status. You're complaining on Facebook. You're throwing tantrums. But this just shows a lack of maturity, because sometimes we lack the capacity to hold what it is that we're praying for. We've got a lot of things that we're desiring, but we lack the capacity to hold these things that we're desiring. There's a lot of things that you're requesting right now in your life. I want you to sit down, take a step back, question, am I in capacity to receive what I'm praying for? Do I have the capacity to handle what I'm praying for? You're praying for a car, but you don't even have a license. You're praying for a relationship, but you've got so much hurt and trauma in your heart. You've got so many things that you have not yet healed from. And yet God is telling you, I want you to first heal. Because if I expose you to this relationship now, you will quickly fumble it. Why? Because you have not yet healed from what happened in the last relationship. You have not yet learned how to forgive from what happened in the last relationship. You see, the problem is you're praying for something you have no capacity to hold. God can give you exceedingly abundantly above, but the problem is you don't have the capacity for what it is that you're praying for. So I want you to get to a point now where you're going to either pray for maturity and capacity to handle it, or just wait. Because sometimes we pray for things that we're unable to handle. So instead of constantly praying for certain things that God is saying, wait, maybe grow into the person that is ready to receive that thing. Grow into the person that is ready to receive that relationship. Heal from the things that you've been struggling with. There's a lot of things that you're struggling with. There's a lot of trauma that you went through. There's a lot of trauma that you have not yet healed. And you see, the problem is that hurt people hurt people. When you're hurt, you hurt others. And maybe you're praying for a relationship with someone that's great, but the problem is God cares about that person too, that they're scared that you hurt them. So hurt people hurt people. Maybe you need to heal first before you go into what God needs for your life. You're praying for marriage, but maybe you're not yet ready for marriage. You're praying for a certain financial position. Maybe you're not yet ready for that. You're not yet mature for that type of level of money. You end up fumbling that money and you lose everything. This is why you see lottery winners end up losing everything within the first year. Why? Because they were not yet mature enough. They did not have the capacity to handle that amount of money. So delay is not denial. Maybe God is just trying to teach you certain lessons in your life. There are certain lessons that is trying to imprint and inbuild in your life. There are certain softwares that you're going to have to install. There are certain antiviruses that you're going to have to install for the software upgrade that you need. So if your wound is not healed, you're going to bleed on others. Why not heal the wound first before you start trying to expose yourself to the world? There's a wound that you have in whatever aspect of your life. There's capacity that you're lacking in whatever aspect of your life. Instead of praying for all those blessings, why not pray for capacity? Because God is the living waters. He can start just pouring out. But if he's pouring out in a 500 ml bottle, it's all going to go to waste. But why not enlarge your territory? Why not enlarge the container to a 2 liter? Why not enlarge the container to a 5 liter? Why not enlarge the container to a JoJo tank? So that you can handle whatever is going to be overflowing from the living waters. I don't know what area of your life needs you to grow in capacity, but I came to tell you that delay is not denial. Maybe it's a you problem. You need to change your capacity. You need to change the container that you're bringing to God, because God can see that, no, this person, I want to give them 5,000 liters, but they're bringing a 5 liter bottle. So I will hold back until they realize that they need to change their capacity. So delay is not denial. I hope you have a great day, and you always know that another day is another opportunity to level up. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps for me to keep on coming each and every day with these episodes for you. Have a great one, and always know that another day, another opportunity to level up. Take care.